When I was first diagnosed with MS, I thought something terrifying. Every symptom I had was going to get worse. But something weird happened. Some symptoms got worse, some stayed exactly the same, and a few basically ghosted me like a bad Tinder date. So today we're talking about the MS symptoms that escalated, the ones that chilled out, and the ones that just disappeared into the neurological witness protection program. This is the real story, not the pamphlet version. Separating facts from fear. When you think of MS, what's the first thing you assume will happen? Hold that thought. Let's get into it with the plot twist. A scary diagnosis, a slow decline, everything just gets worse. It's the story we've all seen in movies. I thought I knew that story too. My body handed out eviction notices. I started looking for my symptoms in the lost and found. Excuse me, has anyone seen my balance? It was here a minute ago. Here's the thing about multiple sclerosis. Plot twist, not everything gets worse. That's the big secret. The first few weeks after the official diagnosis were just weird. It felt like I was the beta tester for a new operating system full of bugs. You know that feeling when your phone does something strange and you think, is this it? Is it about to die? That was my life, but with my own body. Every single muscle twitch, every moment of brain fog. Every time I felt a little off balance, my brain would scream, is this how it starts? Is this a new symptom coming to ruin my week? I was constantly running diagnostics on myself. I felt like I was living inside a glitchy video game. Lag spikes, delayed controls, blurry graphics in one eye. The uncertainty was the real monster. All right, let's talk about the tough stuff first. Let's get it out of the way. Some symptoms did, in fact, get worse over time. They were like uninvited guests who not only showed up to the party, redecorating the house, changing the Wi-Fi password. The most noticeable one for me was the fatigue. Not your regular need a coffee tired. Deep, bone-crushing exhaustion, like my power cord was unplugged. At first, it was just an afternoon slump. Over time, it became a force I planned my day around. Why? MS can cause a special fatigue. Your body uses extra energy to send basic signals through damaged nerves. Next, sensitivity to heat. This surprised me. I used to love warm weather. Now a hot day feels like an attack. My internal thermostat feels broken. Even a slightly too warm room, a hot shower, can make my legs weak and tingly. This is called Uthoff's phenomenon. It's common in MS. Heat can slow or block electrical signals in already damaged nerves, intensifying symptoms until you cool down. Then, walking imbalance, a slow, sneaky change. I didn't suddenly stop walking. It was a gradual erosion of confidence. Small stumbles, feeling unsteady, especially when tired. Over time, those hiccups became more frequent. I learned to pay more attention, use a handrail, and some days use a cane. MS can damage brain and spinal cord areas that control coordination and balance, making smooth movement harder. So to be clear, deep fatigue, sensitivity to heat, challenges with walking and balance, these progressed for me. They became a bigger part of daily life. This isn't negativity, it's realism. Knowing what you're up against helps you manage it. Work with the body you have today, not the one from yesterday. Now for the good news, or at least the not bad news. This is the part of the story that often gets left out. Not every symptom is on a mission to ruin your life. Some are quiet, slightly annoying roommates. For me, a patch of mild numbness in my left forearm appeared. I was terrified, but it wasn't a disaster trailer. It just stayed there. A low-level annoyance that didn't spread or intensify. A small, intermittent tingle in my right foot would come and go, like a phone buzz with no message. In the beginning, every time it buzzed, I'd brace for impact. Okay, here we go. But it never came. Minor balance hiccups were different from the progressive walking changes. Small, sudden, and gone. They didn't get more frequent or severe, like a car rattle that just is. You learn to live with the rattle. Some MS symptoms find their level and stay there. The inflammation sets a baseline that can remain stable. For many, a big part of life with MS is made of these stable symptoms, and that's comforting. Some parts are just holding steady, and holding steady is a win. And now for the truly shocking part, the bit that sounds almost too good to be true. Some symptoms just went away. They vanished, poof, gone. I had blurry vision in one eye, a classic symptom, optic neuritis. For weeks, the world looked smudged. It was frightening. I thought, great, now my eyesight is going. Slowly, it got better. The blur faded. My vision returned to normal. It just fixed itself. Another disappearing act. Vertigo. During one flare-up, the room spun every time I moved my head. I had to move slowly. I thought this was my new reality. Then the flare eased. So did the dizziness. One day, it was just gone. The spinning stopped. It never returned with that intensity. A temporary problem, not a permanent sentence. I also had a numb patch on the back of my hand, like it fell asleep and part never woke up. I kept testing it, sure it was permanent. After a few months, feeling slowly returned. The numbness faded until one day it was gone. I couldn't even find the spot. These symptoms were temporary visitors. So why does this happen? It comes down to two main ideas. First, inflammation. During a relapse, inflammation damages myelin. When it subsides on its own or with treatment, nerves can work better and symptoms can ease or disappear. MS is not a straight line down. It's not a predictable, orderly decline. The real graph looks like a chaotic stock chart. Peaks, valleys, sudden crashes, surprising rallies. It goes up, it goes down. Sometimes it stays flat for a while. It's messy and unpredictable. Thinking of it this way helped me stop catastrophizing every bad day. A dip is just a dip. A peak is a peak. Enjoy it. If the road is a roller coaster, you hold on during dips, throw your hands up on rises, knowing neither lasts forever. Living with MS is like a house of strange roommates. The ones knocking down walls, adapt the house. The quiet ones staying in their room, and the weekend chaos guests who left. You're the landlord. You can't choose all tenants, but you manage the property, clean the messes, reinforce the walls, and still have parties in the good rooms. You're not a passive victim. You're an active participant. You can't just wish symptoms away. You have to be proactive. I built a practical survival kit that helped the worse, the same, and the gone. First and foremost, medicine. Disease-modifying therapies reduce relapse frequency and severity and slow progression. Finding the right one is your best defense. Second, pacing. Think of energy like a phone battery. A shower costs 10%. Groceries might cost 40%. Budget and take planned breaks. Third, temperature. Heat worsens symptoms. I became master of AC. Use a cooling vest. Drink ice water. Take lukewarm showers. Avoid peak heat. Finally, sleep and stress. Sleep is when body and brain repair. Stress is gasoline on the fire. It can trigger flare-ups. I identify stressors and decompress. A short walk, a podcast, or simply saying no. Meds, pacing, cooling, sleep, stress management. That's how I stay plugged in. Hey, quick second. If this story is resonating or reassuring, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to others who need it. For more honest, no jargon, no sugarcoating conversations about chronic illness, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell. We're building a community to share, learn, and remember we're not alone. Thank you so much. Now back to the big finish. So we come back to the question from the beginning. Did you picture that straight line going down? Here's the big reveal I promised. No, not everything gets worse. That's the shocking plot twist. The real story is messy, confusing, and surprisingly varied. Yes, some things get worse, but many stay the same for years, and some even get better or disappear completely. One tenant is destructive. You manage the damage. One is quiet and keeps to himself. One was chaos and left for good. You learn to live in the house anyway. If you're newly diagnosed, be kind to yourself. Your journey will be a mix of bad, okay, and surprisingly good. Seek help. Learn what your body needs. Take it one day at a time. Watch your energy. Stay cool. Talk to people you trust. Unpredictable doesn't mean hopeless. The story hasn't been written yet, and you still hold the pen. You have more agency than you think. I'm curious. What is one assumption you had about chronic illness that turned out not to be true? Share it below. It might help someone breathe easier today. Remember, you got this.